And Gorilla, he's not getting any better. He was always fantastic.
That's right. So Callista the last man here. Graves, Lulu, Callista on the blue side for ROX Tigers. Graves, Rise, and now Quinn on the red side. So we'll see what the first pick is going to be. A lot of good options, of course, including that Alistar. They didn't ban it out.
There's no reason to not lock it in instantly if you're the ROX Tigers. Having Gorilla on that champion, it just plays to a T. The player that he is, he loves those early roams. He's always so smart in being in the right place. And when you have a suite of CC from level 2 and you're so often in the right place, my God, this draft is instant. And
whoa!
That's a Nocturne from Peanut.
That is a Nocturne. I mean, we've seen him a little bit here and there, but this is going to be ROX Tigers experimenting a bit today, I think.
So we're not going to get to breathe. Let's talk about the Nocturne. You see the startings of a Pokemon. Corki, Nidalee are the first locks in. Nocturne, one of the best champions against a Pokemon. Very hard to initiate. The key problem here, though, is that Peanut has played this entire season in the enemy jungle. If there was a heat map for Peanut, it wouldn't be on his side of the jungle almost at all. Nocturne's not the sort of jungler that can duel the enemy. Of course, he can do decently, but he doesn't have a kit like Nidalee. He doesn't have a dash until level 6. He can get in the enemy's face, but this is probably going to be a different school of jungling, unless we're going to see the world's most aggressive pre-6 Nocturne from Peanut.
Hey, with Peanut, that would not surprise me at all to see something like that. But, I mean, I've been saying it for a few weeks, man. I want to see some Nocturne, and finally, today we're going to.
But mFire are being smart. They need to, I would have liked the LeBlanc quite a lot just because you can't go for poke when you see a Nocturne. While the ROX Tigers aren't taking any time, though, they're literally insta-locking their picks. Who knows what's going on? Maybe this is just a 5-man pre-planned comp. They have literally locked in every champion. And we've got the return of the Ashe for Bray.
Yeah, and the Kennen as well, which is going to go up in the top lane for Smed.
So the Ashe is new for 2016 season.
So basically the ROX Tigers were like, all right, let's figure out a comp. We know we're going to get to play it because it uses stuff that people just aren't going to ban or take away.
You know what this comp's going to be, Doa? It's going to be Ashe Arrow into just let's go mode.
I know. It's going to be great.
Everyone will get in there. It's Grim Patron here, right?
Yeah. Sounds, hey, I like that. I mean, the thing is that ROX Tigers have the lowest game time in the league for a reason, and that's because they like to get ahead early in a massive way and finish it off very cleanly.
32 minutes average game time, as we said, fastest in the league. 43 minutes is Jin Air in the last place, so over 10 minutes less a game is just an insane stat for given the fact that we're almost through one round. And now mFire are just like, wait, what are we doing? What are we against here? What's going on? And they're just trying to work it out because we don't even know if it's going to be Kennen in the mid lane or Kennen in top. We're expecting Lissandra mid, but no guarantee.
Yeah. See, they've got about 20 seconds to switch it over if they want to. Teams have until the 20-second mark to make those changes in lobby.
I actually like the Kennen top. I feel like Kennen's that quintessential safe top laner. Fine against Fiora, fine against Poppy. Very hard to gank, lots of disengage, good teleport flanks in the late game. But there is an argument for both here, so we're just waiting to that last second to find out what the ROX Tigers want to do. Yep, it's going to be Smeb on the top lane Kennen.
Do you feel like the damage kind of falls off a bit for ROX Tigers?
The question is, what does Peanut do this game? Does he do damage? Is he going full damage Nocturne? I don't know the answer to that.
It could be a good amount of mixed damage if he does. You know, Kennen's got the AP, Nocturne should have the AD, Ashe adds a bit of AD as well.
But it's a poke comp against just the most initiate you could ever ask for.
It is.
I mean, one team's going to win decidedly this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, man. I mean, the ROX Tigers have a crazy engaged comp here. Prey, of course, on that Ashe made a lot of really nice plays last year.
There's 5 people that can initiate on the ROX Tigers.
I know, it's great. I love it.
I mean, it's going to be fun.
I love this team. Like, every time I get to see the ROX Tigers, I feel like I've got a smile on my face the entire game long, you know? Well, ROX Tigers taking on mFire.
It's a very counterculture cut of the intro. Turn your back on mother is the full quote as we're coming into game. That's not Korean culture.
It's just kind of an extension of Will Smith's parents just don't understand, of course, you know?
Oh man, the ROX Tigers. So, Nocturne, first game in Champions for Nocturne. We've seen Clearlove play this over in the LPL. It's probably going to be full damage. It's probably going to be... It's one of those situations where Nocturne either does really well or really poorly in team fights because he can do a lot of damage. He's also a guy who needs to get into melee range and is usually diving before his teammates are in position. He has a very poor farm-centric pre-6 start is just exactly the opposite of what you'd expect from Peanut. So
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
time to throw out the playbook, though, for Nocturne. I think this is going to be decidedly Peanut-style Nocturne coming out.
Yeah, and the Eternium Nocturne skin, my personal favorite. You know, long ago, Papa Smithy, when I wanted to start trying to play in the jungle, I was looking at kits for various champions, and I'm like, this Nocturne character, he basically just like gets in there and auto-attacks things, and he doesn't stop until either he's dead or your opponent's dead. And I'm like, this is my kind of champion. So I probably played more jungle games on Nocturne than any other jungler.
So how do you feel about pre-6 Jungle Nocturne?
I haven't played him for a long time now, but
He's
I
still...
felt like he always did pretty well, honestly.
The thing is, his ganks...
You don't gank though with Nocturne. You just get to 6 as fast as you can, and then you go ham.
So you're going to tell Peanut that he's not ganking this game?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably the way you still have to play Nocturne. I don't know. I didn't see those Clear Loves games, so.
I mean, Clear Love was aggressive, but Peanut doesn't know jungle mismatches. Peanut doesn't know any gear except all in when it comes to pressure. So I mean, I'm just excited to see what he makes of the Nocturne pick.
The thing is you can gank pre-6 with Nocturne. You have a lot of damage. You have fear if you take that E fairly early on. And if you look at the lanes for the ROX Tigers, every one of the lanes does have hard CC to a certain degree. So if you add in that damage, you may not need the CC from a jungler that you normally would. And I'd say, depending on how they play it, the Nocturne could work for early ganks.
Well, the fun thing is, you do notice that the ROX Tigers have initiated the lane swap. One of the big things you can say about that is, okay, you're getting Ashe out of a difficult laning matchup against the Corki Braum. That part's good, but you free up Alistar. And you know who can gank pre-6 is Alistar. So Alistar and Nocturne's damage might actually be... might be the Alistar kind of carrying the burden of the pre-6 ganking, and then Nocturne and Ashe doing all sorts of hijinks with their globals level 6 onwards. But for now, it's going to be a return to Game 1 and Game 2 of today. It's going to be the mirror turret takes and Peanut trying to pick up as many levels as he can, staying off the map and trying to get that surprise level 6 gank.
You know, Nocturne, though, with that Eternium skin, really looks kind of like just skinny Rek'Sai.
He really does, honestly, because there's an Eternum Rek'Sai skin as well, and they just basically look the same, at least in the loading screen.
I mean, I guess Nocturne doesn't have, like, the tiny legs in the back.
Nocturne's female, but...
I don't think so.
Oh, sorry, Rek'Sai's female, sorry.
Does Nocturne have a gender attributed to him?
I think Nocturne.
He is kind of like a undying void beast. But
well, I mean, Rek'Sai's
so
identified as female, so...
Yes.
I meant to say Rek'Sai's female. Maybe they're perfect for each other, though.
We're just missing the champion that identifies as an attack helicopter. We're getting there. We're getting there.
This time. Oh, Gorilla.
That'd be
Trolled
Corki,
by
I guess.
Peanut. Did you see that? Peanut didn't clear the little Krug and then it stopped Gorilla's back.
Oh. Well, Gorilla got a little bit of gold, so you should thank me.
Well, Peanut for now. Just power farming, as you'd expect. Honestly, ROX going to keep wanting to keep swapping around standard lanes. Keep that Ashe safe as possible till... I mean, wow, look at this purchase from Ashe. Speaking of Ashe purchases, just rush the Swifties on an 80 carry.
Wow.
Swiftness boots Ashe is harkening back to Dan Din in Season 1, where Swiftness boots into the likes of a Brutalizer was your Ashe build. Utility Ashe.
It seems like that means they're going to be swapping lanes a lot with this.
Well, this is basically, I never want to enter lane, so I'm going to get there quickly with Swifties approach from Prey.
Right.
One of the oldest 80 carries, and of course, been
Yeah,
around the scene for a very long time. He's seen the Ashe meta a few times now.
If anyone remembers those days, it's going to be Prey.
I mean, Prey's Ashe, it was on display in the World Championships, in the qualifiers to the World Championships. This guy is amazing, specifically with the Hawk Shot and the Ultimate. The Ultimate skill hasn't changed in 6 years of League of Legends, and he is a dead eye with the Ashe Ultimate.
We know when Prey's Ashe is on display, it is always a treat.
Stop smirking over there, Dilla.
I'm just saying. I'm disagreeing. He's got great Ashe.
Something package.
No Corki in this game, though.
Yes, there is. Soul some Corki.
Oh, you're right. Oh, my bad. I am just a wonderful caster, I think.
I've heard that about you.
I've been focusing on the ROX Tigers this game, you know, getting very analytical.
I mean, the ROX Tigers, they're so all in on the lane swaps. Usually it's top laners like Poppy that rush the Swiftness boots, but there's no real way to call it. That's the issue, is that if you're mFire and you eventually see the Swiftness boots, already you've got your 80 carry on top. There's no way to really force the 2v2 with the laning item disadvantage, so you don't pay for it if you're Bray, and now you go back, you get a long sword. You're still behind in relative items, but yeah, I think a smart adaptation from Prey and the ROX Tigers.
We'll see if it ends up panning out. Boots of swiftness for Gorilla already.
Well,
They will be swift, if nothing else.
he's put on his boots of roaming, Dilla.
That's right.
You know what comes next?
These boots are made for roaming. What comes next?
Freezing the
Sightstone?
lane.
Oh. I thought you meant item-wise.
Probably Sightstone.
Maybe Targons and then...
I think you need
get
the
the Sightstone.
You kind of need the Sightstone. I mean, Sightstone's such a underwhelming buy in the 2016 meta. You never want to rush it. I mean, you're so heavily incentivized to go boots first just because you might get a roam off compared to 3 ineffective wards that have very short duration. You know, it's at the stage where you finish a Sightstone and you kind of want to keep your warding totem just to have enough wards.
Yeah, just become jungler number 2. Start ganking.
Well, advantage Gorilla so far this season. 9-2 on the Alistar, looking to make it 10-2. He'll keep picking it if it's left open for him.
Yeah. Looks like Peanut is just straight up farming into 6, and he should get there pretty soon.
Then the fireworks begin.
Yes, that's right. Then the nightmare begins.
Will he just gank the lane with Ashe in it? That seems like the most gimme. Prey on Ashe means he's probably going to be hitting those arrows, and then you're going to see the Nocturne follow up with some instant deletions. So, looking very tantalizing prospect. And the Lux, just coming back to the draft, of course, the ROX Tigers were insta-Lux, but just thinking a bit about EMFire, they had to answer with a mid lane pick. They were thinking about the LeBlanc, which would have moved them away from a siege comp, and then they went with Lux, and Lux really struggles with gap closes and targeted CC. And the ROX Tigers have all of that. It's literally everyone on their team ruins Lux's days. So I just can't see a scenario where, I mean, Lux gets out of this game. Honestly, she should consider just getting a Banshee Veil second item because she's going to be dead the whole game.
The mFire has been doing okay in terms of coming into the enemy jungle and trying to keep Peanut from hitting that level 6. Trying to collapse on him. There's a level 6. Peanut, oh wow, doesn't get hit with that binding. He got a little bit lucky there.
There we
go.
go.
Gorilla engaging. It's time. Ash Arrow hits Cougar. Here comes Peanut for the damage. Can they get a kill? First blood does go over to Kuro. Cougar low as well. Gorilla still alive. Luxalt though ends that one. Kill comes in for Peanut as he flashes off the wall. They lose Prey though. What a mess. And it ends up being 3 kills for EMFire.
Really nice kill from Sol on the back end. That was a 5v4 with no way to respond. Smeb didn't want to teleport in level 5. EMFire, that was really nice strategical move to come in as a 5-man unit and just try and contest first level 6 from Peanut and then win a fight that there was no way for ROX Tigers to get the most out of their comp in.
I mean, they got 2 kills for 3 in a 4v5.
I mean, Gorilla hits the go button with the flash Q, but remember, Smeb's in no mind to come to this fight. Still level 5, was frozen behind. Poppy comes in, a couple members get deleted. I really like the aggression from Sol in the back end. The turret diving to pick up the last kill. Nobody there to punish him, and early lead for EMFire.
You know, while this is happening, though, Smeb is getting a nice freeze in the bot lane and getting a pretty significant CS lead over Hippo.
I'm really excited to see Hippo try and disengage these team fights with his ultimate, because there's certainly a fight where he knocks 4 people away, including the Kennen ultimate, and is the big hero, but there's such a high burden on Hippo to be the goalkeeper for these squishy poke siege champions that EMFire otherwise has locked in.
Right. And Peanut has that level 6 now. Got a kill, got killed, but also got the assist as well. Has that Skirmisher Saber with no gem, no enchant in it quite yet. Still waiting to see what he's going to make out of this. Wow, Kuro takes quite a bit of damage from Edge. It's going to be a tough lane for him.
Yeah, we can just rotate Nocturne in to pick up farm. Obviously, Nocturne is looking for as much farm as possible. He wants to get tanky after finishing that Warrior enchant. Have to be careful here, though. It's a nice rotation from Sol again. Getting a lot of turret damage.
Yeah, Duskbringer can't exactly clear waves that well. It gets caught. No final spark, though, for Lux.
It's just impressive to see EMFire. The one thing they're doing consistently is moving 4 or 5-man in the early game. Finally, we have a situation where Peanut isn't completely trivializing the enemy jungler out of the game.
Yeah.
And it's been the superior map movement from EMFire that means the ROX Tigers have definitely been on the back foot for the first 10 minutes.
Well, I think the ROX Tigers are kind of using this opportunity as sort of, hey, you know, let's try something crazy, let's experiment a bit and see how it goes. Not so well so far, but there's a lot of game left. So things are still fairly even.
It's the only way to conceptualize it. They lost to Afrika with Again, a bit of an experiment with 380 carries in the Lulu top. That didn't work out for them. Now they've insta-locked their champions with no respect whatsoever for the enemy comp, and I think overall they've got a pretty good matchup when it comes to Engage versus Poke, but this is definitely where if Poke gets on top and then Poppy's on form, then the Engage may never get their window to go in. So let's see if mFire can really start getting these structures down, getting a gold lead, because if it goes late, there's just so many initiators that something has to give from the ROX Tigers.
Yeah. I mean, that's their issue, right? Is that in the end, the ROX Tigers just kind of run at you.
It's back to Season 2. Press R, run at people.
Or whenever Sivers.
Sure. Right, he's pretty overextended, but smart pathing from Peanut means he's in counter gank range with the ultimate. How does this matchup develop is another question I have to kind of ponder. I don't feel like at any point Smeb will have kill pressure on a Poppy. Poppy can disengage with ult. Poppy gets very, very tanky. Double scales on resists with her W, so I don't think kill pressure exists in that lane, so it's going to have to be about the teleport flanks, you'd have to say. Which one can really disrupt the backline more between Cannon and Poppy?
I suppose. Oops. Uh-oh. Forces the ult out of Kuro. Ult for ult.
I wonder if that's worth it. I mean, it doesn't have any cooldown reductions to that. Oh, he does have the CDR boots, but won't have that ult for a while. Would have had to recoil otherwise, so kind of hard to say on that mark, but yeah, just thinking about top lane, probably going to be a farm fest.
Well, I think he wanted to stick around because it looks like ROX Tigers really want to get this dragon in the near future. Pings come down from mFire, though.
They don't have great deep wards, so not
really.
necessarily the entrance, obvious entrance points for Smeb. Just going to push back up this lane. Probably going to just rush the Zonias. That's what's indicated by the items he has purchased already.
Probably be smart.
I feel like he's killable on lane for the Poppy, though. That's my only worry, is that maybe he'll go Rylai second for this full utility build and have a bit of health, but I don't know if Zonia's cannon can deal with just the consistent damage that Poppy can put out.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, the nice thing Smeb has is he does have that range.
Peanut farming up. What is even League of Legends when Peanut's just playing his own jungle farming?
I don't know. It's a bit crazy right now. I mean, the gold is still fairly even. A little bit of a lead for mFire.
mFire have just been smart at rotating around power points. The 5-man invade was good. They've got Corki now with Trinity Force. That's why they're putting so many members in mid. Trying to take down Kuro's turret.
They're going to start that dragon. Dragon already half health. ROX Tigers, are they going to fight this? Smeb could TP in.
They don't have the wards for it. Smarter than not to go.
Yeah. Could come in on a minion maybe, but
The most heartening thing about watching mFire is they play the game the right way. And that sounds like a weird thing to say, but they know when on which side of the jungle they're strong at. They know where to position their jungler. They seem to communicate well. Again, it's just literally they don't have the star players to back up their solid gameplay.
I can see that. Peanut looks like he's going to go for the Hex Drinker. I would say Maw of Melmordius may be the eventual finish. What do you think?
I think it's very likely, obviously, going to be the Hex Drinker first, but Maw is such a powerful item. It gives you such a great just stack of stats. It used to be an item that was never built because all you got was that magic damage shield, but now you get armor penetration. You're building that Serrated Dirk, which feels good. You're getting more offensive stats, and then when that shield is popped, you're getting the lifesteal, the spell vamp, I believe attack speed as well. It's just a block of stats where if you see multiple magic damage members, and obviously mFire is almost exclusively magic damage, you're kind of a fool not to pick up the more Melmordius.
True enough. And Peanut still farms. Oh, Peanut, you're killing me, man.
Well,
you're not supposed to farm, you're supposed to gank.
There goes your average game time stat.
I guess.
This is going to be a long one.
Yeah, I mean, we know what they can do with a couple good team fights, but this one probably will be a bit longer. Oh, especially if Gorilla gets caught. He's going to flash in, though. There's Engage. Nocturne gets on the edge of the back lines. He knows that snare is down. Here comes Smeb. Nice flash over the wall. And this is what I'm talking about. ROX Tigers. making it work. Prey takes an arrow though, wow, and actually Soul ends up picking up a kill in the end. So mFire not coming out of that as badly as I thought they were going to.
Only level 9 on Smeb, only one item. He also, the first couple of bolts went on no one because he was trying to flash to get into position, so it wasn't the layering of CC that ROX Tigers are looking for. And the result, even team fight.
I guess so.
Start off as an even team fight in numbers, but they're going to lose their mid lane turret. There's definitely a world where mFire wins this game.
I would agree. The big question is, can mFire keep the decision making up? Are they able to continue this into the late game?
If it was a Spenu, I'd definitely say no, but mFire have shown a bit more poise than some of their fellow cellar dwellers at the bottom of the rankings, so it's certainly an outside bet. I'd still say the ROX Tigers have a comp that's very competitive against the lineup they're against, and they're certainly well within touching distance at 1,500 gold behind, but there's an outside chance, yes.
Yeah, it's one of the rare games that the ROX Tigers have had a gold deficit at 15 minutes.
One of the rare games where Peanut's on a farming jungler.
Yeah.
Far cry from Elise and Nidalee is this Nocturne pick.
And so far, not so good.
Well, you don't pick Nocturne for the first 10 minutes of the game, but even his first 2 ultimate uses have been basically a wash or a slight loss from the perspective of ROX Tigers. There's certainly some item timings where the ROX Tigers really start hitting high gear. It's a utility Ashe at the moment, just Essence Reaver and the Swiftness boots are just about poking from distance rather than any Infinity Edge when her damage really starts to ramp up. Extra input, but not more Malmortius completed for Nocturne. Probably the biggest worry has been that Lissandra, Kuro's been bullied this laning phase. Almost every time we see him, he's taking a big burst of damage from the Lux. Obviously a big range advantage for the Lux, but so far the Lux has gotten through fairly unscathed. It's just, how do you navigate a late game team fight as Lux? Because you're going to need to be so far behind your tank line and still put out damage.
Yeah, well, Lux is certainly one of the champions that can do that. You've got a lot of range.
Well,
that light binding and that ultimate.
Actually using the buff here.
Smeb needs to be careful. Whoa, that was different.
That was early.
That was a bit early. Yeah, maybe they thought the engage was coming. Guger using that Braum ult.
Well, they saw the glacial path over the wall and just assumed that it was a gimme, but wasn't elected to be taken by Kuro. So now an important team fight cooldown is down. Ash Arrow's coming in.
Yeah.
Here we
Here
go.
it comes. It's going to land. It's going to not land. It's going to hit Guger, not the person they were going for, and ROX Tigers not engaging.
Smart from Edge. You notice he actually used the ult early to chunk out Smeb. Smeb can't fight in this fight, doesn't have a ward to teleport to.
Prey, meanwhile, split pushing here, taking out the tier 2 in bot lane.
Alone. Wow.
Yeah.
You don't see this very often. The AD carry just casually walking over. Doesn't have any wards whatsoever. They don't have vision of the backs. Can't stop the back timers because Smeb was DPS'd out, but fairly even trade in damage, even though it looked like a really bad spot for the ROX Tigers.
Yeah. Well, they're hanging in there. They've certainly decided to give themselves a hard mode version of League of Legends in this game.
Don't spot out pink wards, so it's a nice aggressive vision. They know where Smeb's going. We'll have to see that evolving matchup between Smeb and Hippo on the top lane with this Poppy.
You know, mFire's warding is really good too, isn't it?
I mean, again, this team, if you had to make a comparison, it would be the impression that Anarchy gave when they joined the league last season. The only difference is they don't have the superstar mid laner. Edge is good. I think he's probably the most impressive member of their roster, but he's not Mickey, where Mickey was literally winning games off his own back.
Yeah.
They're just so solid in the other roles that, again, they're good to watch because you know they're going to give you a good value game, even if ultimately they're outmatched.
Yeah. Should be Dragon again pretty soon, I think. Yep, it's back up now.
Decent siege from the ROX Tigers. Again, it's mostly on the back of Prey, poking out with the W's.
Yeah, they're trying to clear that vision around Dragon. They need to be careful, though.
The ROX Tigers really don't want to fight with the flash down on Smeb. The difference between Cannon with flash up and down is night and day when it comes to level 11, so...
Oh, yeah.
Starting it, though.
They're going to start it. This seems a bit risky. Peanut activating the ultimate, going in onto Guger a little bit. Arrow hits Soul. TP coming in. Lissandra didn't do a whole lot. They're going to get Guger, though. Now Hippo trying to ult, gets the knockup. ROX Tigers unperturbed, though. It's a 5v4.
Flashes up on Smeb.
Yeah, they can turn onto this Dragon if they want to.
Smep didn't use ult, has flash available now after the start of that fight. We could still see a re-engage, but Peanut is super low.
I guess so, yeah. And this may actually end up costing them a dragon, weirdly enough. Yeah. All right, so second dragon for mFire, looks like.
Peanut just not in any position to be able to contest the dragon, so smart of ROX Tigers to back away and not give away any more, but mFire, solid once again.
ROX Tigers kind of doing the opposite of everything we usually see them do this game.
I mean, they picked themselves into this situation. They showed literally no regard for the enemy comp. The Nocturne pick is the big kind of question mark, and that doesn't fit the wheelhouse of Peanut, who seemed to be so benefiting from the meta that he found himself in. Graves, Nidalee, Elise, all junglers and get in the face of the enemy. That's been the story of the ROX Tigers, is Peanut setting the tone with his invades, and his laners backing him up and allowing picks, causing pressure, meaning that everyone on the enemy team, every lane will fall behind in CS because of the pressure that was chiefly caused by Peanut. Even though you're on this Nocturne with the long-range ultimate, it's just not the same story when you don't have eyes on the enemy jungle, control in the 1v1 jungle matchup, which is what you lose when you pick up the Nocturne.
Yeah, so how do you salvage this?
You farm, you wait for a mistake, you're still in touching distance, there's no gold lead, 2 dragons isn't the biggest factor. ROX Tigers are certainly well in this game. It's just a totally different game from the ROX Tigers we've seen literally every other time on the Rift.
And they've got 2 Zonias on their side too, so they can survive a lot of the Lux burst coming in, or maybe an engage by Nidalee.
Also means that Smep can get in the back line, pop that ult and Zonias, so they doesn't get knocked away by the Poppy. Arrow time.
Hello, Ash Arrow coming through. Not hitting anybody though.
It was actually a good time to take the try. They knew that Edge's cleanse was down, so they hit. There might have actually been a kill there with the 3-second stun coming off the back of the arrow, but yeah. ROX just looking for farm at the moment. There's no objectives for them to pick up. They have no way to siege down Lux's turrets, so just answering the pushing waves of mFire.
Yeah, mFire may be new, and they may make some, rookie mistakes once in a while, but they move well as a team. They do.
Credit the coaching staff, you'd have to say. I mean, there's just so many factors that put together made you think mFire would be a no-hoper. I mean, a lot of these members didn't even play these roles previously competitively or even in solo queue. For example, Crush in his preseason interview was like, yeah, I just changed into jungle a couple of months ago. A lot of these guys were subs, no competitive experience outside of Edge, and yet they've come together and seem to be coached well because they look solid, which is more than you could have honestly ever realistically expected.
Yeah. Pretty true.
One thing that's falling down is that even though they have control of the tempo of this game, they're not denying farm. They're not growing a gold lead. If anything, the gold lead is slightly narrowing with every ongoing minute. And we still haven't seen the perfect layering of CS and CC and engage from ROX. And one of these times, there's going to be a crazy engage team fight. Lux is going to be deleted, and then mFire is going to kind of have to run in every direction.
I mean, this is one of those compositions that, if it gets one win in the late game, you're good. If it gets one big team fight win, and you have a lot of ways to do it.
Well, we know the power of picks with death time is so high, and if you can't get picks with this comp, you're never going to get a pick.
Yep.
We haven't even talked about the fact that Prey has a crazy build together right here. Has the Runan's Hurricane, and that's 3.
Here we go. In on the Edge. There's a nice knockup. Edge under turret. Gorilla tanking it, though. Should be okay. TP coming down. Hippo's going to join the party. It's a little bit late to save his mid laner. That's the kind of gank I think that the ROX Tigers have been wanting to make. And
remember, that's Lux with Flash Cleanse available, dying under her turret, and it's a preview of every future fight because Lux is the person who's the most immobile. She's going to be the target of every ultimate from Nocturne. They're going to get a turret off this, ROX Tigers.
Maybe. mFire pushing back.
Smep's not grouped, has teleport and flash and ultimate, so...
One nice thing about Nocturne, too, that we haven't mentioned is having that spell shield does great against things like the Nidalee Spear. And just preventing the damage.
And also guarantee that he reaches his target in the Lux by just popping it right at the end there so that no light binding stops him. It's going to be the turret eventually. There it is.
So a successful push in mid for the ROX Tigers.
And Now it's the 4-5 minute cooldown for Edge to have both those summoners available. Otherwise, just Lord knows how you live these fights as Lux.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see how much the ROX Tigers are going to try to punish this.
That Dragon's up soon. You don't have a timer for that, obviously, with the spectator bug.
It's about a little less than a minute. We'll see. Hippo coming in. Gorilla zoning. There's a Brawl. Wow, they're going to go in onto Smeb in the back line. There's Edge with a big Lux laser, but will he get taken out? Ult comes in from Smeb. There goes the Lux. It's a messy fight, though. Peanut going after Hippo now. They dodged a spear. A double kill now for Smeb. And ROX Tigers just going to focus on Cougar, and then they can probably get set up for that Dragon. And these fights are just so insane with this comp.
While it was messy, the target selection from ROX was right on top. They knew there was no flash, no cleanse. They found Lux, deleted her. And with her dead, there's just really little way for mFire to win a fight. She's the general at the back of the fight, shielding, CCing, bursting. And if she's dying first, so are the hopes for mFire.
Let's check this out.
This was just everyone running and no flash, no cleanse Lux. And she got some damage out, as you mentioned, but once she's dead, it's kind of when everything falls apart. Because Soul's just poking from the back. He can't get behind his tank line. Everyone's super low. Prey literally flashes aggressively because he might as well. And there's just no ability for target selection. And fighting around this terrain when you've got the Nocturne ultimate, when you have all the mobility and all flashes up from ROX, is just suicide from an EMFire perspective. When you have Lux, you want to be fighting in a long lane around a turret, either sieging or blocking siege, and then just ensure that there's no terrain for you to have to navigate, because if there is, you're going to get caught and you're going to be killed.
Yeah, suddenly a 3,000 gold lead opens up for the ROX Tigers, and their hyper all-in comp is doing the trick. We'll see if they can prevent this Dragon now.
Some of their ultimates are long cooldowns. Specifically, Smeb does not have his ult.
Yep, that is a big deal. Hippo getting zoned a little bit. Nice dodge on the spear. Gorilla. Oh, there's one Zonia scout. Smeb coming in, flashes away, gets out of the W. Prey zoning on the outside. They can turn the string if they want to. They're going to go in. Yeah, Kuro over the wall, helping Peanut pick up a kill. Meanwhile, Prey all over Rip in the back line. Smeb helping out there. And Kuro, Gorilla, and Peanut chasing away the rest of mFire. There we go. Nice W onto Cougar. That's going to be another kill. Peanut picks up his second of the fight. And now things are starting to come together for this ROX Tigers composition.
If mFire can't kite back into open space, this will keep being the story. You have targeted engage from the Nocturne. You have very fast Alistair, very fast Lissandra flank, the Kennen coming in from all different sides. This is just a recreation of the Kennen support games that the ROX Tigers had at the end of last season, where it felt like everyone was an initiator from every direction. And when they're fighting in the jungle, everyone can do that from the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, let's watch that fight again.
Smeb with the casual Zonia's flashes early, so there's no wall slam. And then it's just all about the multi-pronged attack. The Kuro initiate was the big coup de grace, though, into the back line, instant deletion of the Corki. And mFire needs to be fighting all in a line, poking in a long line. It's not offered that because every time those cooldowns are up, all in comes in from ROX.
Yeah, Peanut gets in the back autoing too. That Nocturne can certainly do a lot of damage.
More Malmortius completed, and look at that build. There's no tankiness there. There's a bit of health coming through, but nothing else.
Yeah, pretty much just wants to do damage, which seems about right.
Well, his thesis is that everyone's going to be CC'd forever between the Slicing Maelstrom, Alistair, Ashe, and Kuro's Lissandra CC, so he can just auto-attack and kill people.
Yeah, and you've got the Fear on Nocturne too, in case any of them think about trying to get away.
Fighting in CC, in melee range.
Yep.
What a world.
Oh yeah, well Nocturne does have a nice chase too with the Duskbringer, giving him that path that he can just follow too. These fights have just been crazy though.
But now we're at the point where it's a 5,000 gold lead. ROX Tigers have almost complete map control, a couple of defensive wards out. And this is where the veteran team who's been given a sniff just, how do you come back as mFire? Because you've got a siege comp and suddenly you don't know where anyone is. You've lost the last couple of fights. You don't have any defensive wards down. The pink ward line is so aggressive from the ROX Tigers around Baron.
And they can dive you like crazy too.
They can dive you if you're ever out of position. You're just going to get choked out of life just because ROX Tigers got an inch, took a mile.
Yep. And now the Baron pressure begins. Are they actually going to go for it early here?
They have a very fast Baron, so yes.
All right, they will. mFire doesn't really look like they're in a position to respond to this.
They will know what's happening just because Kuro pops in vision.
Yep. This Crush throwing in the spear. It does connect with Gorilla. They could go into this. TP coming down. ROX Tigers has to back away. Gorilla very low, but here comes Smeb from the side. Could be a big slicing Maelstrom. It is a huge one. Hippo blocks the rest of the ROX Tigers from coming in, though. It's not the greatest engage ever. Smeb in trouble. Nice W4. Oh boy, they barely dodge it. Yeah, nice re-engage from Kuro. Now the kills start coming in from the ROX Tigers. Nice Duskbringer. Peanut gets in range. Cougar very low. Gonna live through this one, it looks like.
Couldn't layer the CC ideally, but even though Gorilla was literally at 200 HP when they started that fight, actually died without using his ultimate.
Well, Hippo prevented that one from being a complete stomp anyway.
And turn back onto the Baron. No jungler to contest. Gonna be easy Baron pickup for the ROX Tigers.
Yep, that's right. Edge just pushing up that mid lane.
Doesn't have his ult to try for the steal.
Oh, Peanut needs to be very careful, down to just 60 health. Oh, there we go. All good.
Not even close.
Yep. All 5 members end up getting that Baron buff. Burrow decides he wants to just take the casual, the scenic route back.
Peanut had the choice between the Titanic and Ravenous Hydra. We all know which one he chose.
Oh yes, going Ravenous. Gotta go Ravenous.
Probably Black Cleaver is the last item for Peanut.
Why not? No, Black Cleaver used to be one of the older early items on the Nocturne. The old Black Cleaver anyway.
Never changed, Peanut.
And you can see the vision right now. I mean, mFire really has nothing outside of their own jungle.
I mean, mFire's safe zone is their inhibitor turrets, because anywhere else, you just never know which of these long-range initiates or teleports or picks. The pick potential is just disgusting from the ROX Tigers with their effective blind pick. Maybe they heard that blind pick was removed from OGN, so they just thought they'd blind pick anyway.
I suppose. They're just as furious as we are.
Yep. Irate.
Yep. Two Shens is dead.
WTF.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, didn't get it. All right. All the pressure coming in for the ROX Tigers. Their average game time certainly going to go up a little bit after this one, but maybe not too much. Waiting for the next dive. There it is. All in, onto Hippo. Lissandra used. There's a nice Zonius from Kuro. That's how you kill the tankiest member of the other team.
Well, it's just the start as well. We're waiting for some more initiate. Ash Arrow still available. Smeb doesn't have teleport though, so
yeah,
can't just show up. They've already got a kill. They're going to be pushing every single inhibitor. It's go time for the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, well, Peanut needs to be kind of careful. He doesn't have his ultimate anymore.
Well, the base is broken in 1 lane. Smeb's been free hitting. That's 2 lanes.
Just looks like a little bit too much for mFire to handle at this point, as they may lose their final inhibitor here, or inhibitor turret rather.
Kind of a thing I've been thinking about. All these...
there's one inhibitor.
What is it with these teams right at the bottom of the ladder wanting to play these poke comps that are so specific? There's no way to get back into the game. Why not just go 5v5 team fight? Because got more of a shot in the late game.
I don't know. You just tell yourself you can hit those skill shots. You can poke enough to take the objectives, and it just doesn't work against teams like this, I guess.
If you've got a Fiora, you've always got late game insurance. If you've got a poke comp, the late game is not your friend.
Yeah. Oh, there's the arrow coming in. Hits Crush. Crush gets away, though, just in time. There's a Braum ultimate. But ROX Tigers already over the back lines in general. Crush has to flash away. Peanut all over Hippo right now. Prey just doing the damage with no opposition. Nice knockup from Gorilla before he goes down. Gives Prey the double. And that may just give the ROX Tigers the win. Edge, Crush, and Soul still alive, though. The carries still able to do some damage. Ooh, Prey needs to be careful. But here comes Smeb onto Crush. Gets a stun onto Soul, too. Wanted a little bit more of that, but they may still be able to close it out. Oh, Crow goes in with the W. Zonia's right away. Lux Laser nearly kills Peanut. Oh, he does go down to Soul. The Nexus low. Edge the only one defending it besides Soul, though. Smeb dodging, and it's enough. He gets it. That is going to be the ace. That is going to be the game. That was insane. But ROX Tigers still win it in 35 minutes. GG.
Well, the blind pick all-in comp from the ROX Tigers, literally locking in at every opportunity, was a treat to watch.
I love these guys.
We saw the world's first frontline Ashe, who basically every team fight was only flashing aggressively to do Hurricane Bolt hits, because why not? And maybe that's just the way the ROX Tigers look at this series. Why not, Doa?
The ROX Tigers may not make any sense, but they're always entertaining. That's for sure.
Well, they took it easy. They played the comp they clearly wanted to. This is a team that shaped the meta in the first months of 2016. I don't know if this one's going to catch on.
Have they, though? Not enough people are playing this way.